What is up guys and welcome back sa ating channel. Today pag-uusapan natin yung introduction ng ating series Foundation and Retaining Wall Design. So Foundation and Retaining Wall Design is the season 2 of the reinforced concrete design nung college natin. Alright, so what is footing? Footing is a structural element that transfers the load from the building or structure to the underlying soil or rock. It is a critical part of the foundation system, ensuring that the weight of the structure is evenly distributed and that the soil can support it without excessive settlement or failure. Okay, naka-highlight dito yung word na critical part. Okay, so yung load transfers kasi natin from slab, ita-transfer nung slab yung mga loads papunta sa beams natin, then from our beams papunta sa column, then columns to our foundation, then foundation ultimately dun sa ating lupa. So technically, si ating foundation, siya yung nagbubuhat nung kabuuan ng ating structure. Okay? Kaya siya very important. And take note na rin, no? Meron din tayong kasabihan na build a strong foundation. Okay? So applicable din ito sa totoong buhay, no? Kung meron tayong matibay na pundasyon, hindi tayo basta-basta magigiba. Okay? Now, bakit importante, no, yung foundation dito sa ating structure? Okay? So sabi dito, no, so that we can distribute, okay, yung ating pressure evenly dun sa ating lupa. Okay? Para hindi magkaroon ng excessive settlement or failure yung ating building. Now, we have here two figures. Okay? One is without foundation and the other one is with the foundation. Now, notice parehas silang merong load na F, for example. Okay? Now, dito sa figure left, okay, meron tayo ditong area na yung area lang din ng column mismo. Tawagin natin siya as AC. Then the other one is meron siyang AFTG or area of the footing. Now, take note of the formula. Okay, recall natin that pressure is simply equal to the force over area. Now, ang sabi dito sa force over area, when we have a small value of A, yung pressure natin ay lumalaki. And then, kapag kamalaki naman yung value ng A natin, yung pressure natin ay lumiliit. So, ano kayo yung implication nito dito sa ating foundation? Okay? Now, for example, dito sa left natin, dahil yung area ay maliit, yung area ng column maliit, definitely magkakaroon tayo ng mataas na pressure. Okay? Now, kapag meron tayong mataas na pressure, this is equivalent to excessive settlement dun sa lupa natin. Mabilis mag-settle, mas mabilis mag-settle yung ating building if ever man, no? Now, dito naman sa kabila natin, yung area natin, of course, malaki yan, no? So, definitely yung pressure na nangyayari dito sa ating pundasyon, distributed evenly. Okay? So, mas maliit na pressure, mas matagal mag-settle or magkaroon ng failure dun sa ating lupa. Kaya importante yung ating foundation. Okay? And then, we also have here 414.3.2.1 ng NSCP 2015 natin. States here na ang minimum thickness ng ating foundation shall be 200 mm. Now we have here types of footings. Alright, so according sa NSCP rin natin 413.1.1, the section shall apply to the design of non-pre-stressed and pre-stressed foundations, including shallow foundations, which is from A to E, and where applicable, deep foundations from F to I. So we have here yung A to E daw dito. It is classified as a shallow foundation, and then yung F to I naman natin is classified as deep foundations. Okay? So those highlighted na foundation, na-discuss na natin dito sa series natin. So okay, yung strip foundation or strip footing natin, it is simply the wall footing, the isolated, itong naka-capital letter na isolated. This is the most common foundation na meron tayo. Sa mga bahay-bahay, laging isolated ang ginagamit dyan, and also to light commercial buildings, puro isolated din yung ginagamit dyan, no? Then we also have combined footings, then pile cups, then the yung iba dito hindi na na-highlight, so ibig sabihin hindi natin siya i-discuss dito sa ating series. Now meron din tayo ditong na-discuss na retaining wall, pero hindi naman siya kasi considered as a footing, kaya wala siya dito. Alright, so ito yung mga footings natin. So we have here first the isolated footing. Next one, meron din tayong klase ng isolated footing pero slope yung tawag natin dito. We have here the combined footing. We have here the strap or the cantilever footing. We have here the strip or the wall footing. We also have here piles and the mat footing as well. Okay? Alright, so design considerations dapat natin na gawin dito sa Pilipinas, no? So lagay natin dito Philippine standard. So number one consideration when designing foundation, the soil type. The type and strength of the soil determine the size and the type of the footing required. Okay? So kung ano daw yung klase ng lupa natin, magbe-base doon yung magiging size and kung anong klase ng pundasyon yung dapat nating gamitin. So we have here snippet from NSCP 2015. Okay, first printing by the way, no? Hindi ko alam kung ito pa rin yung ginamit doon sa ating second printing which was released November 2019. Okay, hindi natin alam, no? O di ko sure kung same section ba sila. Pero according to NSCP, okay, for structures 2-story or higher, an exhaustive geotechnical study shall be performed to evaluate the in situ parameters for foundation design and analysis. Okay, so ang sinasabi lang dito ng ating NSCP, okay, kapag ka 2-story na yung building natin, required na daw magkaroon ng soil testing. Okay, if ever na mag-analyze tayo ng ating structure. Okay, so this is based sa NSCP natin. Now again, this is 2015 na nirelease nung 2016. Okay, so yung second printing, I'm not sure kung 3-story na ba yung binanggit doon. Okay, but according to Google, and this is talagang nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas, in the Philippines, buildings with 3 stories or more generally require soil testing. Okay, so sa mga munisipyo natin or sa city engineering offices natin, 3-story talaga yung nire-require ng soil testing and not 2-story. So hindi ko sure if updated na yung ating NSCP 2019. Okay, so please do check na lang po. And we also have here sa table natin 303-1 the minimum required number of boreholes per structure. If ever na magkaroon nga ng soil testing yung ating building, ito yung required na bilang ng testing na gagamitin natin or hukay na gagamitin natin sa ating building. Okay, so for building footprint of with area less than or equal to 50 square meter, kailangan lang natin ng 1 borehole. Then for areas 50 square meter to less than or equal to 500 square meters, we have 2 boreholes. And then for areas greater than 500 meters square, ang number of required boreholes na shall be equal to 2 plus the area divided by 1,000 and always round up, okay, to the nearest integer. Okay, so sabi dito kung ang ibig sabihin nitong mga area na to is footprint area of the structure, so meaning yung building, no, not the lot area. Okay, so yung building area yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. Now sabi dito kung 50 square meter or less, required na 1. Okay? Sa NSCP natin, 1 talaga yan, no? Pero I'm not sure if most ng mga nagkakandak ng mga geotechnical testing, 2 na yung minimum nila. Okay? I'm not really sure pero I think 2 yung minimum ng mga geotechnical engineers natin out there. So ito yung formulas natin, nasa table 303-1. Alright, and then also we have here a snippet from section 208.4.3, Site Geology and Soil Characteristics. So sabi naman dito, now for example, 2-story lang yung building natin na hindi naman required, no, ng soil testing, for example, pero kailangan nating mag-conduct ng structural analysis pa rin. Now, according sa NSCP natin, tinulungan na tayo actually, we have here 208-2, the soil profile type. So, you notice this one sa ating STAAD, no? Ginagamit po natin ito sa STAAD natin if you are familiar with this one. Meron tayo dito ng soil profile type SA which is classified as hard rock, SB as the rock, SC as the very dense, SD as the stiff soil, SE soft soil, and then SF, okay, requires site-specific evaluation or sobrang hina na ng SF dito. Okay, so according sa code natin, when the soil properties are not known in sufficient detail to determine the soil profile type, type SD shall be used. If you are familiar sa STAAD natin, kung wala ngang soil testing na ginamit dahil 2-story lang naman yung building natin, okay lang naman daw according sa building offices natin, always assume yung ating lupa to be SD. Okay? Pero kung sobrang lambot talaga ng lupa natin, kailangan na po talaga natin mag-conduct ng soil testing, no? Huwag na po tayong mag-assume ng SD pa. Pero kung relatively matigas naman, you can assume, no, SD yung ating magiging lupa. So nasa istaad din ito, no? I'm not sure kung 1, 2, 3, 4 yung gamit dito, no? So 1 is A, of course, then B yung 2, and so on. Okay, next consideration natin dito sa ating design of foundation is the load. So the weight of the structure including the dead loads and the live loads, yun yung kailangan natin, okay, sa pagde-design ng ating foundation. Now, meron tayong dalawang klase ng load. We have the service loads and we have the ultimate loads. Now, we only use the service loads. Okay, ito yung combination na dead plus live lang, walang factor. Ibig sabihin nun, gagamitin naman natin yung mga service load to determine the size of the foundation. And kapag ka-factored naman yung mga loads natin, that is to determine the number of rebars naman po. Yung mga reinforcement na kakailanganin natin dun sa ating foundation. Okay? So, sabi dito sa ating NSCP 305.2.1, the design loads. Okay, footing shall be designed for most unfavorable load effects due to combinations of loads. Okay, so meron sinabi dito, footing shall be designed. When we say designed dito, okay, hindi to yung itsura or shape ng ating pundasyon. When we say designed, this is the rebars or the reinforcement. Okay, so it pertains to the number of rebars, okay, ilang bakal, okay, yung gagamitin natin, and not the shape and size ng ating foundation. Okay, combination of loads, ibig sabihin nito, ito yung mga factors, okay, then makukuha natin yung designed or number of rebars required. Okay? Yun yung ibig sabihin po nito. And sa section 305.2.2 naman, vibratory loads, where machinery operations or other vibratory loads or vibrations are transmitted to the foundation, consideration shall be given to the reports to address the foundation design to prevent detrimental disturbances to the soil. Now, if ever, no, na dun sa pagpapatayo na building natin, merong mga vibratory loads na nangyayari doon. Say for example, may mga equipment na dumadaan doon, may mga backhoe, may mga dump trucks na dumadaan-daan dun sa lugar na yon. Okay? So, kailangan daw mag-conduct ng further soil investigation, no? Kasi possible na yung ating lupa doon ay disturbed na. So, kapag disturbed na yung lupa natin doon, yung strength niya is nababawasan din technically. So, kailangan daw natin ng further soil investigation or report. Kailangan mag-conduct ng reportings dun sa lupa na yon. So, yun yung kailangan din natin i-consider, mga vibratory loads. Next consideration natin is the depth. So, factors affecting depths are the number of stories, the soil condition, and the load it carries. So, yung depth natin is proportional daw sa number of stories. Kung mas madaming palapag, mas madaming floors, ibig sabihin dapat mas malalim. Okay? Soil condition din, kung mahina yung lupa, dapat mas malalim. Okay, kailangan nating ma-reach yung pinakamatigas na part ng lupa natin, and the load it carries as well. So, ayan. So, meron din tayo ditong minimum, no, na depth for our foundation. So, according sa NSCP natin ulit, table 305-1, we have here number of stories or number of floors. Hanggang 3 lang yung minention dito ni NSCP natin. And we have here the depth below the undisturbed ground surface. Take note, ginamit dito yung term na undisturbed ground. Okay? So when we say undisturbed, again, no, walang vibratory loads, okay, na nangyayari malapit or dun sa mismong lupa na yon. Wala pang pinatayong building doon, so hindi pa siya nagalaw. Okay? So undisturbed pa yung lupa doon, no? So yun yung ibig sabihin nito. Kapag ganun yung case mo, okay, kung papatayo ka doon ng 1-story na building or bungalow, pwede na daw ang 300 mm na lalim ng pundasyon para doon. Pagka 2-story naman na doon sa part na yon, 450 daw is okay na as a minimum depth of foundation. Then for 3-story naman, pwede na din ang 600 sa lugar na yan. Okay. Inaalaw tayo ng code, no, na kapag 1-story, provided undisturbed yung lupa, 300 mm yung i-adapt natin na depth. Okay? However, you don't want to do this, diba? Okay, kahit pa sinabi ng code natin na okay lang naman gumamit ng 300 mm, parang nakakabahala gumamit ng 300 mm ngayon, no? kapag kabunggalo lang naman yung papatayo mo, ayaw mo na 300 mm lang, okay? 300 mm lang yung gamitin mo na lalim ng pundasyon, okay? So, pwede mong gamitin ito kasi sinabi naman ng code natin. However, wag nating gawing practice ito, no? Medyo mali, okay? Medyo mali. Now, instead, no, ito yung gawin natin. Sa one story natin, okay? One story or bungalow, say, i-adapt na lang natin as our minimum depth yung kay 3 story. Okay? Ganun na lang yung gawin natin. Kapag bungalow yung ipapatayo mo, ang i-adapt mo na lang better is 600 mm na lalim ng pundasyon. Okay? Kung ito yung ginamit mo, no, 600 ginamit mo sa 1 story or bungalow, mas safe ka na dahil ang requirement naman minimum is 300. So kung 600 ang ginamit mo, pasok na pasok ka na. So mas magandang gamitin na lang dito yung 600 if ever man. And we also have here the Pi-Holmes theorem, my theorem, no? Walang gumagamit dito, no? So this is my theorem about the footing depth. Okay? So footing depth can be derived, okay, directly. May mahaba tayong formula sa NSCP natin pero hassle gawin yun, no? Tedious gawin, madaming mga variables na kailangan i-consider, madaming factors na kailangan i-consider. And I have derived a theorem, no, for the footing depth dito. So we can say that the footing depth can be 20% to 27% of the building height. Now, ano ba yung 20% dito and 27%? Saan siya galing, no? So we have here a derivation for this one. This is the theorem, Pi-Holmes theorem. Okay, so this is only applicable for shallow foundation. Again, yung na-discuss na natin kanina, yung shallow foundation, and we also have deep foundation. So for deep foundation, this is not applicable. Yung 20 to 27% na magic number natin. So again, footing depth is 20% to 27% of the building height. Now, say for example, we have here a bungalow or 1 story and sabihin na lang natin na yung kanyang building height is 3 meters. Now, I assume here the per floor is approximately 3 meters. Ito yung ginamit ko na example dito. Now, 3 meters is only measured from the natural grade line hanggang dun sa roof beam level. Okay? So, it does not include yung roof height natin. So, hanggang roof level lang siya kumbaga. Roof beam level lang siya included. Okay? Now, 3 meters ito kunyari. And then again, sabi natin sa 1 floor, ang i-adapt natin na minimum depth is yung 600 mm. Yung galing kay 3 story. Okay? So, yun yung i-adapt natin dito. Now, the depth of depth percent of this one is simply equal to, okay? So, ito yung depth percent natin, yung 20 to 27%. Transpose lang natin yung building height dito sa left equation natin. Now, depth percent is now equal to footing depth divided by building height. Now, the footing depth here, ginamit natin dito ay 600 mm, so that's 0.6 meters. Then, divide this by the building height, which is the 3 meters yung ginamit natin. And we will get 20%. Okay? So yun dun galing yung 20% natin dito as the magic number natin. Oops. Since nandito ka na rin naman sa part ng video ito, maaaring pa-like, share, and subscribe ka na rin sa ating channel. Thank you. And what about yung 27% natin dito? Okay, so again, we're talking about shallow foundation. Gamitin natin, since this is the maximum range, pwede natin gamitin din yung maximum or tallest building na gumamit ng shallow foundation. Okay, which is the Petronas Twin Tower. Okay, so you can search this one sa internet. So the Petronas Twin Tower in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia are known for having the deepest shallow foundation in the world. So sila yung pinakamalalim na pundasyon pero considered pa rin as a shallow foundation and not a deep foundation. So eto, siya yung gagamitin natin as our reference para dito sa 27%. Now, ang building height ng Petronas ay 452 meters high. Okay? And yung lalim naman ng pundasyon nito is nasa 120 meters deep. Okay? Now, applying this same formula, okay, so depth percent is now equal to the footing depth, which is equal to 120. Divide this by 452 and we get 26.55%. Now, this is approximately 27%. Okay, so dito galing yung ating magic number 20% to 27% of the building height. Okay? So pwede mo na tong gamitin siguro as a preliminary. Okay? Huwag mo tong i-adopt completely. Okay? So mag-conduct ka ng further investigation kung hindi to enough. Okay? Pwede kasi no na mangyari. Say for example, ginamit mo yung 27%. Okay? So kung 27% of the building height yung ginamit mo para sa footing depth mo, okay, mas malalim yung makukuha mo talaga. Now, however, dun sa site natin, okay, sa 27% of the building height, nakita na malambot pa rin yung lupa. Okay? So, wag ka mag-stop dun sa 27%. Okay? Laliman mo pa hanggang ma-reach mo yung pinakamatigas na part ng lupa. Okay? Ganun yung application nito. And then, also, dito sa 20%. Now, say for example, meron tayong 10-story. Okay, so yung 10-story, say for example, 3 meters yung bawat palapag. So, nasa 30 meters yung kanyang height. And then 20% of that 30 meter high, meron tayong 6 meter high na 6 meter deep na foundation. Okay, yung sa 6 meter deep na foundation, pwedeng yun yung minimum mo. Pero however, dun sa construction, at 5 meters, sobrang tigas na or pwede na, no? Based sa soil testing, pwede na yung 5 meters. Okay? So, pwede mo nang i-adopt yung 5 meters kahit na hindi mo na ma-reach yung 20%. Okay? So, ito naman is preliminary lang. Okay? Preliminary lang naman ito. Kung wala ka lang idea, you can adopt this one if you want. Okay? So, wag natin tong i-follow completely. This is just preliminary. Okay, so mag-conduct pa rin tayo ng soil testing kung 3 stories or up na siya. Alright, and then the last consideration para dito sa ating foundation is the reinforcement, of course. So rebar is used to strengthen the footing and to prevent cracking under the load. Okay, so reinforcement. So ibig sabihin nito back up, di ba? So para mas lumakas yung ating concrete structure. Okay, so meron tayo ditong 413.3 for the shallow foundation. Okay, it is stated here na yung minimum base area now natin of the foundation shall be calculated from the unfactored forces and moments. So I mentioned this one already kanina, yung service loads ang tawag natin dito. And then yung sa design criteria naman natin, foundation shall be proportioned to resist factored loads and induced reactions. Okay, ibig sabihin naman netong factored loads and induced reaction. Okay, so ibig sabihin nito, dito naman na pumapasok yung bilang ng bakal natin. Okay, kapag dapat makontra nung bakal natin yung mga factored loads and or whatever forces na naka-apply dun sa ating foundation. And then we also have here table 413.2.7.1 location of the critical MU. Now in designing the number of rebars, okay, sa RC or dito sa foundation, kailangan natin lagi ng ultimate moment para malaman natin yung number of rebars and para malaman mo kung ano yung values ng MU natin. Okay, take note na dapat alam mo muna kung nasan yung MU natin. So I discussed this one dun sa ating isang video dun sa ating spread footing. Okay, so you can check that video. Okay, so we have here column or pedestal, face of the column with steel base plate halfway between the face and the column edge, concrete wall nasa face of the wall, and then masonry halfway between the center and the masonry wall. Okay, and then the location of the critical section for factored shear in accordance with section 407.4.3 and 408.4.3 for one-way, or section 408 for two-way naman shall be measured from the location of the critical section for the MU. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin lang naman neto dun sa mga naunang videos na natin, yung mga one-way shear and two-way shear ay also measured from the location of the MU. Yun yung sinasabi niya lang dito. Okay? And then ito naman no, yung minimum base area natin for the unfactored forces. Okay? Ibig sabihin nito mga service loads. Kapag kabakal naman, mga factored loads. Okay? So in summary, footing area or the area of our foundation is based on the unfactored loads or what we call the service loads. And for the reinforcement naman, dapat base ito dun sa factored or ultimate loads natin. Okay? So ito yung mga MUs na natin. And dito naman, ito yung mga combination of loads na wala lang factor. Walang 1.2, walang 1.6, etc. Check the other videos dun sa mga calculations natin and thank you.